Well, let's get into these lists. This is what the people
Before
say.
we do that, Nick, I want to say that, and everybody keeps pointing it out in the chat or mentioning it in the chat that Karl-Anthony Towns' mom passed away.
Oh man.
Yeah, man. I'm.
Yeah, that's crazy, man.
Yeah, that's
From
sad.
from this virus.
Yep.
Yes.
I remember.
Wow.
Yeah, I remember when she called it. Obviously, she's much older than him and at risk. I haven't heard anything. I knew it's been a minute since we haven't heard, since he's said anything about it. I thought he was just, just being private or whatever. But yeah, it's been a month and she didn't make it, man. But yeah, this is a statement from the Towns family spokesperson said the Towns family is heartbroken by the ultimate passing of Jacqueline Towns due to complications as a result of COVID-19. Jackie, as she was affectionately known among family and friends, has been battling the virus for more than a month when she succumbed on April 13th. So Jackie was many things to many people: a wife, mother, daughter, grandmother, sister, aunt, and friend, the matriarch of the Towns family. She was an incredible source of strength, a fiery, caring, and extremely loving person who touched everyone she met. Her passion was palpable, and her energy will never be replaced. So I'm gonna stop there.
Damn, man.
I
hate that, man.
I do too. I don't know, Kat. My words, I have, they wouldn't really mean that much for the brothers. Just I feel sorry for him and his loss. Having experienced some recent losses last year, I get it. And for something like this to come along, it's not what you really expect. It's how your family to go out, man. So
yeah, man.
Yeah, to everybody stay inside, man. If you can, please.
Look, I haven't been out in 9 days. I haven't left the house in 9 days. So
yeah, another thing about that story too is that Kat's dad also has it as well. But I think he's faring a little bit better. Yeah, both his parents had it. Obviously his mom just passed. I saw that too. I was going to bring it up, but I know that his dad was diagnosed at the same time. But I think he is doing better. But just like Ken, I haven't heard anything since that initial announcement, so I don't know how his dad is actually doing.
Yeah, thoughts and prayers to the Towns family. Damn, that's crazy.
On another note, did y'all see Tavares Jackson passed away today?
Yes.
Saw that too.
I did see that.
36 years old, man. It was
That's
a
crazy,
car
man.
accident.
Yeah, it was a car accident.
Yeah.
Single car accident too, so it was just him.
Yeah.
Damn, man.
It's a lot going on, man. It's a wild time right now.
Yeah.
Everybody just need to stay safe, man. Stay safe as possible. That's all I can say. And stay prayed up.
Yeah.
Yep.
Let's get on to something positive.
Yeah, let's move on to something like we were talking about Jordan, so he's known as one of the, if not the best shooting guard ever. So let's run down our list of the top 5 shooting guards in the league right now. As we stated before in the last episode, some of our lists are going. I'm going. My list is basically going off of this season and a little bit of last season as well, just for the fact that this season was cut short. But if for the rest of the crew, their list may just be based off of this season. So we'll have a chance to, of course, argue and debate regardless. But yeah, that's just a caveat for y'all. Ken, you want to start it off?
So we're doing shooting guards?
Yep.
I am unprepared for class. Hold on, I've been working all day. Let me put my list together.
All right. FIFO, talk to me.
All right, shooting guards currently in the NBA. At number 5, I got Bradley Beal. Crazy season statistically for him, but obviously, the wins ain't there. But I think he's proven he's a top 5 shooting guard in the league. Number 4, CJ McCollum, also a little off year for him as well, dealing with slight injury and stuff like that. I got him at number 4. At number 3, give me Donovan Mitchell. This guy's been an impact player since the moment he stepped on the NBA court. Number 2, give me Devin Booker. I've been high on D Book for a minute.
No, you're not. No, the fuck you not, FIFO. Go ahead, keep going.
Number 1, James Harden.
God damn, that's my fucking exact same list. That is literally my exact same list, dude. That's why I was like, don't you do it, FIFO. And you did it. I got the exact same players in the exact same order, dude. That's hilarious.
Y'all was working together when y'all was doing the Twitch?
No, man. Me and FIFO, we got that basketball IQ, man. We got that basketball IQ, though. That's all it is. Wow. That's funny.
Shelton, who you got?
All right, for my number 5, I got Paul George listed as a shooting guard. So he's my number 5 shooting guard right now. At 4, Klay Thompson is still in my list because we went off last year and this year. So Klay Thompson, when he comes back, I think he'll be number 4. My number 3 was Bradley Beal. I think he had a really good season. I think, with a little help, he'll be a lot better. Number 2, Devin Booker. That man on the rise. And, of course, number 1, James Harden.
All right. For me, number 5, I got Bradley Beal. I think that brother needs more respect. I think he's probably the best draft wizard of the last 10 years, in my opinion. Number 4, I got Klay Thompson. I think if he was still healthy, he'll be higher, but I'm going to put him on there. Number 3, I got Jimmy Butler. Number 2, I got Donovan Mitchell. And number 1, I got James Harden. My honorable mention is Devin Booker.
Hey, Jimmy Butler.
Honorable mention.
Yeah, you tripping, bro.
I got honorable mention.
Jimmy Butler's a 3 this year, though.
Wait a minute. Wait.
He's a 3?
Yeah, this year he was.
Yep.
Who are you talking about?
Jimmy Butler.
Yeah, Jimmy Butler's a 3.
Yeah,
he's a 3. Oh, okay, then I'll take him out. I didn't know if he was a 3 or a 2, so that's why I put Devin Booker as my honorable mention. But I'll put Devin Booker in then.
Saved by Shelton.
And you know what, Shelton, as well, like, I know that they listed Paul George at the 2, but his game isn't a 2.
He's a 3.
So I have him on my 3 list as well.
Me too. I have him on my 3 list.
I was going to ask y'all about that, and I thought about that too. He's a
tweener. He's the tweener.
Because Kawhi is the 3. So that's kind of why.
No, and I get it, but it's kind of like when I watch PG's game, he's not a 2. You know what I'm saying? Like he's like the epitome of what a 3 is supposed to play like, a 3-and-D 3. Like that's what they're supposed to be. So like when I watch his game, I'm just like he's not a 2, so I can't put him there.
I get that, and I respect that. If that's the case, we're gonna put CJ in his place at the 5.
Y'all had who else had? So you
well, let me give mine real quick, and then we can go back into the discussions. Number 5, I had CJ. Number 4, I had Bradley Beal. Number 3, Donovan Mitchell. 2, Devin, and 1, James Harden.
Okay, that's cool. I mean,
so y'all had CJ and I don't.
And now who?
Y'all had CJ McCollum and I didn't.
Yeah.
I thought this was a down year for CJ. And he didn't really impress me in the Western Conference Finals last year. So what made y'all put him?
CJ, if you're going based off playoffs last year, CJ stepped up in a lot of games that Dame Lillard was having off nights. And it was a lot of games where if it wasn't for CJ, Blazers wouldn't have pulled through on some of them games. Now granted, yeah, CJ didn't hit the Dame Lillard deep from 3 game winner, but I'm just talking about just throughout the playoffs. It was a lot of games that kind of helped shift the series if it wasn't for CJ. If you base it off last year, if you're going by your rules.
Yeah, but I mean I get that because I do remember he definitely held it down, especially that that Denver Nuggets series.
Yeah.
But after that, like from moving forward from then and then going on to this season, I haven't really been that.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's just because the Blazers at the moment of the season they wasn't in the playoff picture. I feel like if they were in the playoff picture, we have a different argument. But I can, like I said, when I think Kim had CJ 5th and Bradley Beal 4th. I'm cool with that. That's I'm cool with Bill being ranked higher than CJ. That's not an argument for me.
Yeah, Bill, man.
Bill been bought. Hey, he was on a fantasy squad, so I know. I already know. Bill been bought.
Like it was nothing.
I think that stretch that he had.
Yeah.
I know CJ has been more consistent this year, but Bradley Beal really showed, like, when he elevated his game and was putting up 40 and 50 pieces, it was like
back-to-back 50s.
Yeah,
man.
Yeah.
I don't see it in this game. I'm not knocking him at all because I think I got him on my list. I think he's dope. I just don't see how he does it. Like I gotta sit down and study his game a little more. I just don't see how he does what he does.
Who, CJ?
No, Bradley
Beal?
Beal. Yeah.
You don't see how he scoring shit? You've never watched the Wizards game probably then. You probably don't watch.
I watch him.
I don't blame him for that. But
yeah, I'm just saying you probably don't watch the Wizards like that, but no,
I don't watch him like that.
Bradley Beal, man. Bradley Beal gets buckets, dude. Beal,
he get busy.
Yeah, man. Bradley Beal good.
And here's the thing: the Wizards were like a top 10 offensive team this year.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Without
John Wall.
Without John Wall,
that's why
that just shows the type of firepower that Bradley Beal's putting up this year.
Exactly.
And it shows how expendable John Wall is.
That's
it. Here's the thing with the John Wall situation. I think that this year the Wizards played a different brand of basketball. I think that the Wizards can do it without John Wall, or they can do it with John Wall. It just depends on the version of John Wall that comes back, But I think I said this years ago. It's about time to let it go and to break it up, and even trade Bradley Beal. And the reason why I say that is because first of all, you're not going to attract any other free agent, so you're not going to be able to rebuild. You're obviously you're going to have a high draft pick. You already drafted the Japanese dude from what's his name, Ruri Hachimura. You know what I'm saying? It's just time to go young, to get more assets. Trade Bradley Beal and go get you, 3 picks in the next 2-3 drafts. Like, that's where they are as a franchise to me. Like, trying to hang on to talented guys when you can't truly build around them and you're just wasting their prime. Like this was a wasted year in Bradley Beal's prime. He should be helping some type of playoff team get over the hump. And here he is. Even if they were still playing, he was going to be home during the playoffs.
Yeah, that's true.
I got a question. What position are we putting Giannis, Tatum, and Siakam?
Giannis is a 4 and Siakam is a 4. I don't know what Tatum is.
Tatum is a small forward in my book, but I agree with Shelton. Giannis is a power forward on my list.
So on my list, Giannis is a 3, and Siakam and Tatum are both 4s.
I thought Giannis was a 3 too.
Me too.
He actually plays the 4 though, doesn't he? If you look at the lineup,
he starts at 3 more than he does at 4.
Yeah, this is crazy. Yeah, but I got Giannis and Tatum as a 4 on my list.
Yeah, he's listed as a 4, but when you look at the starting lineups that Milwaukee puts out, he's typically the 3.
No,
I thought that was Middleton playing.
Yeah, Middleton is the 3. He's a 4.
What I thought.
So who's the 2?
The white guy.
He don't start. DiVincenzo. He come off the bench.
Eric Bledsoe is the 1. Pat Connaughton.
He doesn't start.
He don't start.
Who started at the 2 for them this year? It wasn't Middleton. Middleton plays 3 for sure.
Look. So the way I came up with this, I Googled starting lineups. And when I Googled it, right, like it actually gave me a breakdown of like per game. And when you go per game, Giannis starts at the 3 more times than not. And when you look at the Boston Celtics, Jason Tatum starts at the 4 more times than not.
Yeah.
Wait, so I'm on.
When I saw that Tatum was a 4, I was like, damn, I thought Tatum was a 3.
They got ESPN has it listed. Their depth chart listed like this: Bledsoe, Matthews, Middleton, Giannis, and Brook.
Yes, Wesley Matthews is what I see. That's the most common. It's 34 games with him at the 4. 11 games with him at 4. Yeah, all these are him at the 4. He was at the 3. I don't see him none of these at the 3 on the list that I'm looking at this year. Most common Bucks lineups was Giannis, the one you just said. Wesley Matthews was a 2.
I still have him on my 3s list.
Oh, you trying to?
So he's stubborn. It ain't gonna change.
I already made my list. I'm not switching it now.
It's
I'm not switching my list either.
For 45, 49 games at least, he was a 4. Let me see, 49. I'm adding these up. 10, 20, 54, 55, 56, 57, 58, 59. For 60 games this year, all 60 games, he was a 4.
Yeah, I'm not changing my list.
Yeah, I'm not changing my list.
Now the Boston Celtics, and maybe they interchange, but they got Tatum at the 3 and Gordon Hayward at the 4.
But Gordon Hayward didn't start.
That's what they got it listed now.
Yeah, that's what I was going off the ESPN thing.
Yeah, I put Tatum at the 4, because their starting lineup is Kemba,
Brown.
Yeah, no, there's somebody else though too that's in the starting lineup too. I can't put it on the top of my head right now. But yeah, most of the games Jason Tatum started at the 4.
You talking about Theus?
Dice? You talking about the big man?
Daniel Theis, yeah.
Nah, I think he's their starting 5. Hold on, let me try to find what I saw. Hold on.
Okay. All right. So just for confirmation, so what we doing with Tatum and Pascal are 4s.
And my list.
Yeah.
Giannis
yeah.
Siakam and Tatum are 4s on my list.
Mine too.
And where you got Giannis, B?
I got Giannis in my 4 list, my power 4 list.
So all 3 of them in your power 4 list.
Yep.
Okay, I just want to try to be as consistent with everybody as possible. All right.
Yeah, if you go to lineups.com, it shows the point guard is Kemba, the 2 is Marcus Smart, Gordon Hayward as a small forward, Jason Tatum as the power forward, and Daniel Theis as the center.
He's been playing with his lineup because Smart was coming off the bench. But okay. All right, cool.
All right. Let's start with let's go with small forwards then. People, let me hear yours.
All right, so small forwards at number 5, I got Jimmy Butler. Over exceeded anybody's expectation going to Miami. Number 4, I got Paul George. Again, because to me, when I watch him, he I know he plays the 2, but he doesn't play like a 2. He's really a 3. At number 3, I got Kawhi Leonard. You talking about the preeminent small forward in terms of offensive and defensive. Number 2, I got Giannis. Obviously, we just had our whole soliloquy about where we played with certain guys, but Giannis is still a small forward to me. And then number 1, LeBron. And I know Ken brought this up last time why I didn't put him as a point guard. And you're 100% right. He is playing point guard this year, but it was just habit where he's always been a small forward. He's always played small forward. So that's just where I put him. But I think he's still the best small forward in the league. And I'll just go over it again. Jimmy Butler at 5, Paul George at 4, Kawhi at 3, Giannis at 2, LeBron at 1.
All right, B, who you got?
All right, so this is for the 3 position, right?
Yep.
All right, so at 5, I got Brandon Ingram. At 4, I got Jimmy Butler. At 3, I got Paul George. 2, I got Kawhi Leonard. And 1, I got LeBron James. That's my 3s.
That Brandon Ingram one, that you took one off of mine.
Oh man, Brandon Ingram been balling this year, dude.
Balling though. That's what I was like.
Balling.
If it wasn't for Zion, man, he definitely would be getting his shine.
Yeah.
Yeah, Brandon Ingram is definitely the best defense for Zion, though, because he surely ain't passing the ball at all.
But Zion's a power forward, though, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, sometimes center.
I'm trying to make sure y'all ain't trying to pull any more.
Oh, no. He wasn't on the list.
People are going to have – once you go to power forward, you're going to have Zion all 5.
Zion.
All right, so I'll go. So I got BI 5. I got man, this was yeah. Give me PG-13. Give me PG-13. Give me Kawhi Leonard 3rd. Give me Luka 2nd, and of course, LeBron number 1.
All right, I got Brandon Ingram at 5. I got Jimmy Butler at 4. I have Kawhi Leonard at 3. I got KD at 2, and I got LeBron James at 1.
And on mine, I got Jimmy Butler at 5, Luka at 4, Kawhi Leonard at the 3, Kevin Durant at 2, and LeBron at 1. I'll take KD one leg at the 2.
Yeah, somebody. Yeah, they. Yeah, I was trying to see somebody put the Celtics lineup in there. I know we just read it, but yeah, they definitely disagree with Tatum at the 4. They're saying what I said, that Hayward starts at the 4 and Tatum starts at the 3. But hey,
I think Bleacher Report said Tatum was 4. I thought the same thing that y'all thought too. And basically, when you look at it, with their lineup, it's interchangeable. So really, technically, if we were doing it the way we know it, we should do what position we know they are. But
that's the thing is, like, with this position as basketball shit, it's like it's messing up what people really are. And
right.
And that classification, obviously, it ruins some lists because you can't have a jam-packed list with all these forwards, power forwards, who should be small forwards.
Right.
That's taking away some people that really should, like, because Jason Tatum, he had a phenomenal year. Like, he definitely would have been in my top 5 as a small forward, which I think is what he is. Yeah. I don't see him really banging with people down low as a power forward.
Right, and that's exactly right. Because when you look at where he gets the basketball, he gets it on the wing when he getting the ball. He ain't getting the ball on the block like a 4. So it's in name only that he's a 4.
So let me ask you guys this real quick. I was just in the chat. I know Luka has played a lot of point guard, but hasn't he played? Isn't he a small forward too? Like, he's all over the damn place. I don't know where.
I feel like he plays 1 through 3. Like, he's the point guard, shooting guard, and small forward. But because he can handle the rock so well, that regardless of when he's on the floor, he's the designated. It runs through him. It's like when Larry Bird was with the Celtics. Like, he's a point forward, I guess.
Yeah, his position is listed as point guard and small forward. So he is technically he's really a point guard, but he's in our small forward list.
But ESPN got him listed as a 2.
Yeah, he's not a 2 because Tim Hardaway Jr. starts at 2.
Right. But he also plays a 3-2. I don't know. My list is what it is.
Right. I ain't changing my list. I mean, my shit is what it is.
I just wanted to at least have that discussion because, I mean, this clearly is an illustration of positionless basketball where we have so many guys playing so many positions. It's just like, where do you put them?
Right.
All right. Let's move on to the power forwards. I'll start it off. I got Sabonis at 5. I got Julius Randle at 4. I got LaMarcus Aldridge at 3. Pascal Siakam at 2. And I got Giannis at 1.
LaMarcus Aldridge and Julius Randle?
Let me do my list. Let me do next.
Yeah. Bro, if y'all obviously I watch a lot of Knicks games. Julius get buckets. All right, the team.
Man,
His
come
team
on.
was like a rap still.
You being disrespectful to so many people right now, Nick.
So many people.
I mean,
So
what
many
the
people.
hell?
I'm telling you I'm saying what I seen with my eyes. I seen it.
Don't be biased. And you just said the reason why you are biased.
So he got to be. Julius Randle, man, I get it.
At the banky top 5, but that's about it.
My list goes as follows. I got Jason Tatum at the 5th spot. Bam at the 4. Bam had a hell of a year. Pascal Siakam at the 3. Anthony Davis at the 2. And Giannis at the 1. And that's just what it is.
So I have Bam as a 5.
I do too.
Yeah, I have him as a 5.
Oh, wait. Oh, you got him as a center, you mean?
Yeah.
Yep. I do too.
This damn positionless basketball. Man.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
It's fucking crazy.
Yeah, it's hard to classify some guys now.
Man, I'm still tripping. Nick put fucking Julius Randle in his damn top 5.
And LaMarcus Aldridge. Who the hell
And
is
LaMarcus Aldridge, right, dude? What the fuck? Let me get my 5.
go ahead, B.
5
Oh shit.
And number 5, I do agree with you on this one, Nick. Sabonis. I didn't realize he was top 5 worthy, and I looked at his numbers. I'm like, oh yeah, dude was an all-star this season for a reason. So he's at number 5. At number 4, I got Siakam. At number 3, I got Tatum. At number 2, I got AD. And number 1, I got Giannis.
Damn. So my 5, I have Zion. 4, Siakam. 3, Tatum. I have Giannis at 2 and Anthony Davis as the number 1.
Okay. So yeah, this list is gonna be jacked up.
I know it's crazy, right?
Yeah, for like it. There's not gonna be a consensus list outside of me and B at shooting guard. But for number 5, I got Domantas Sabonis. At number 4, I got Kristaps Porzingis. At number 3, I got Pascal Siakam. At number 2, I got Jason Tatum. And at number 1, I got Anthony Davis.
See, I had AD as a 5.
Oh, okay.
5.
His game is a 4, though.
He don't even like being called a 5.
I understand. I know what he don't like to be called, but that's what I mostly see him when I see those lineups, or like when I see them, like when they're in their like final fourth quarter lineup. He's usually at the 5.
But that's rare because you know they have Dwight and what you call him playing the 5? What's his name?
Yep. McGee.
McGee.
Yeah. So based off of your logic, Nick, then Draymond Green is a 5.
He could be,
But he's not. He's a 4 that can play 5.
Yeah, AD is just tall.
Yep. Because just based by your logic, because at the end of the day, Golden State Warriors finish games with Draymond playing the 5, but he's not a 5.
Well, I was also putting that into account as far as like again with the list. Like I didn't want him to take another spot from somebody else when I could just move, because I have him as he could be a 4 or a 5. So I just put him at the 5 so I can make room for somebody else.
There go that bias talk right there.
All right. Well, speaking of, let's end it on this note. The centers, big man, the last of the Mohicans.
Well, I'll go first because I probably have a call coming up in a minute or two. So I'll take the lead on this one. So starting with 5, I got DeAndre Ayton. Number 4, I got Bam. Number 3, I got the Joker. 2, I got Cat. And number 1, I got Embiid. And there's my call.
All right. I'll go next. So at number 5, I got Bam Adebayo. At number 4, I got Rudy Gobert. At number 3, I got Cat. At number 2, I got the Joker. And at number 1, I got Joel Embiid.
Yeah, I got at 5 I got Bam. At 5 I got Rudy. At 4 I got Bam. This is about to be some controversy for my center list. At 3 I got I got Andre Drummond. At 2, I got Embiid, and at 1, I got Joker.
So I had Andre Drummond beat, but the only reason why I took him off is because he doesn't influence winning. Like he gets the damn numbers. It's ridiculous, but
Yeah, I put him in based off strictly off numbers. To be honest with you,
I feel you.
His numbers at
It
the
is ridiculous.
is crazy.
Because what is he averaging? Like 17, 18 rebounds a game?
Yes, dude. Yes. Yeah. So I had to put him in. I had to get him in there. But yeah, only person I felt bad leaving out because he's actually having a good year is Hassan Whiteside. He's actually having numbers wise, he's having a good year at the center position. But yeah.
Sean, who you got?
At the 5, I got Drummond. I can't leave Drummond off. I just think he's a talent. At the 4, I got Rudy Gobert. Defense alone sells it. Steven Adams was a tough toss-up for that spot, though. Steven Adams played good defense, too. I got at the 3, I got Cat. At the 2, I got Joker. And at 1, I got Joel Embiid. And I'm with you on that, Bees. I ain't tripping out that, B.
Ain't tripping off what?
I love Joker.
Oh yeah. I mean, yeah. Embiid been showing some mentally weak moments this season, man, and I didn't like that at all. Like he's showing some mentally weak games where he shouldn't have been mentally weak. So that's my only nitpicking reason why I put him at 2 and Joker at 1.
Mm-hmm.
All right, for me, I got Bam at 5. I got Cat at 4. I got Joker at 3. I got AD at 2, and I got Embiid at 1. I think even though
AD stay far away from 5 as much as possible, dude. He's not a 5.
I think he a 5.
He's not a 5. He stay away from that center position.
Nowhere near 5.
Nowhere near 5. He stays away from that shit
can't
as far as
stand it.
possible.
I'm gonna say this: if they were playing right now for the playoffs, that motherfucker starting at 5.
He's not.
He won't
JaVale
do it.
McGee starting.
He didn't start all year.
Yep, JaVale McGee starts. And then Dwight Howard comes in. Then when they go to a small lineup, he'll play a little bit of 5, but he's not their 5. And that was one of the stipulations that he even had signing with the Lakers. He said, look, I'll do whatever it takes, but we need to get a couple big bodies in here because I ain't doing that all game.
Yep. Yeah, man, he stay away from the 5 as much as possible, man. AD wants no parts of the 5, really.
Oh, sir.
That's why he loves playing with DeMarcus. If you look at some of his best statistical years, were literally with DeMarcus Cousins because he had to do none of that.
Yeah. He's like, yo, DeMarcus, you handle that 5.
Yep.
I don't want that. I got this 4.
Well, if he ain't a 5, I'll put Drummond in there.
You say you put who in there?
If he's really not the 5, then I'll put Drummond in there because he's been a monster on the boards for like at least the last 5 years. So I got to put him off the cuff of that.
I think Drummond is the perfect example of what I be talking about. When you can have a talented big man, but without a point guard, it ain't nothing.
And that's,
Like it's not.
got.
But he's a traditional big man too, though. Where as far as like he's a back to the basket. Don't really have, like,
point guard. That's why a point guard is important in Drummond's in a type of player like Drummond. You got to have a good point guard.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Look what happened with DeAndre Jordan when he had Chris Paul. Like DeAndre Jordan and Drummond were pretty much identical players. They both can rebound real good. They both protect the basket. That was pretty much. They were both horrible free throw shooters, but like that was pretty much their game. Chris Paul was at with DeAndre Jordan. DeAndre Jordan flourished, and I bet you if you had a point guard caliber of Drummond, a CP with Drummond would be the same way.
Yep. Now you're talking first team All NBA. Now you're talking first team All Defense.
Yep.
Now you're talking multiple All-Star appearances. Yeah. Like, and it's the same thing for a point guard. If you build a team and you don't give me at least one of those guys, it's going to be way harder for that point guard to flourish.
Yeah.
So to me, Drummond is that prime example. He could get 15, 18 points by himself just because of all the rebounds he gets. But how does a dude like Andre Drummond average 22, 24? Is with a point guard.
So is that a knock against him?
No, because It's not a knock for me. It's a realization. And that's why I say, like, to me, the most valuable players are those in-between size guys, dudes that are 6'7" to about 6'10", 6'11" KD size, right? Those guys that can do a little bit of everything. They can play a little bit of point guard. They can play two. They can guard multiple positions. They can go and help on a big and get a block, right? That's why that type of player is the most valuable. But then when you go at the either ends of the spectrum, either, you know, a point guard or a center, they have to be complementary because they need each other. Without each other, they can't elevate a team, and it's extremely difficult. So when you have a point guard like a Dame Lillard, right? That's why I've always said that he needed a Carmelo Anthony type player at the wing to compete against the other elites at that position. And then he needed a big man that can set screens, get rebounds like a Steven Adams type. You know what I'm saying? So that's why basketball is chess and checkers, right? And you got to make sure that pieces fit, especially when you're talking about a small and a big. And that's the reason why Andre Drummond realistically has not fit in either Cleveland or Detroit. Because as much as I like who's that point guard that played at Wake Forest with Jeff T? I can't think of his name. I really like him as a backup though.
Smith.
Huh?
Smith. Smith. Dang,
What team you talking about, people?
Detroit.
His last
Detroit
name is
point
Smith.
guard.
Talking about Ish Smith?
Ish Smith.
Ish.
Yeah, yeah. Oh yeah. You know I loved him. I loved Ish when we had him.
Yeah.
I love Ish. But Ish isn't that caliber of point guard to elevate Andre Drummond.
Right.
Andre got easy buckets, but Ish isn't looking to score at all.
No, he's
You know
not.
what I'm saying? So when you're not a threat in that way, it hurts the big man. So Detroit needed to find a point guard at the same level as Andre Drummond. That's why I wanted him with the Hawks so bad. Are you talking about pairing Andre Drummond with a dude like Trae Young? Andre Drummond gonna average almost 25 points a game. He's gonna get 15 by himself.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I don't know. For me, it's just like as a big man moving into the league now, you gotta elevate your game to at least a mid range at least. That's why I asked you if that kind of hurts him a little bit that he can't impact the game as much based off of how great he is.
I don't think that's a mandatory thing. I think basketball is all about dominance, but you have to understand where your dominance comes in at. Like Andre Drummond doesn't need a mid-range shot. He don't. The way he dominates a game and is very dominant is on the boards, defensive help, second chance points, things of that nature. He don't need a shot.
But now, he's only effective in the baseline by the rim. Outside of that, if you have any, like if he plays against someone like a Joel Embiid or a Joker or even a Cat, they're gonna space him out to where he is negated from getting those boards as much as he would.
Okay, but that's fine. But then you have to be able to play defense on that perimeter, right? And that's one of those things that separates Joel Embiid when he gets switched onto Giannis or even Chris Middleton or whoever on that perimeter. Even if he gets beat, he can meet you at the basket and get a block or a deflection, or he can keep his feet in front of you. So it's not that they'll be able to negate your rebounding. It's that, okay, well then if you're playing perimeter defense, don't get beat. And if you do get beat up the shot. You don't have to have an offensive game to be an instrumental part of a team's success.
Well then what
all right, for other players to do that.
Let me ask you a question. What's the big difference between because you had Joel Embiid ranked higher than Andre Drummond, right?
Mm-hmm.
Why is that?
Not a dependent player. Joel Embiid can get his shot whenever he wants.
And that's what I'm saying about Andre Drummond can't do that, right?
But if Andre Drummond played with a better caliber point guard, he'd be higher on my list.
Yeah, but remember how you always said, I'm going by your terminology. You always said if you need someone to leave or if you need someone to be there with you for you to get yours, then that says something about you as a player.
Not necessarily when it comes to point guard and big man. They need each other. I've always said that. I've always said a point guard is a big man and a big man needs a point guard. And that's what I'm saying. It's like if you were to combine an elite point guard and a center and mesh them into one, you get LeBron James, you get KD, you get Giannis. That's why those guys in that medium size are the most important players on the basketball team, the most valuable players on the basketball team. But if obviously you can't draft them or get one of those guys in free agency, then you go get you a point guard, right? And then you go get you a big. When you look at somebody like John Morant, right? Amazing point guard. But he would be just like CP if you don't give him an elite big. And I think Jaren Jackson is going to be or could be an elite big. But without him, you would see something like what happened to CP in New Orleans. Who he had, David West, or was it
He had David West.
You know what I'm saying? David West was cool. Chris Paul elevated David West. David West couldn't do the same for CP, which is why it was a decent relationship, a decent pairing, but it didn't elevate either or. But when you saw CP go to the Clippers, Blake Griffin elevated CP and CP elevated everybody else. So that's the reason why they were so formidable.
But I thought the reason why it was so great for CP and David West was because David West was kind of like that PG-ish type of big man where he could shoot a mid-range, he could post up in the low block, he could rebound, play defense. He was just an all-around type guy. So he didn't limit CP as far as that playmaking ability, because if they did pick and roll, CP can kick that out in the middle of the court for David to knock down.
Of course.
Andre Drummond, he can't do that with an Andre Drummond type player, regardless of how great CP is.
But look, what can CP not do? He can't go get a big time rebound over bigs, right? He can't go get a block. He can't go body somebody up and give a hard foul when need be. That's the reason why I'm saying, like, David West was nice, but he didn't elevate CP. Yeah, they could play together. It was complimentary, but how many bodies was David West getting? How many lives did David West catch off of CP? How many times did David West get a big rebound or a big block over somebody? No, he didn't do that. But how many times did Blake do that and or DeAndre Jordan? That was the difference. That squad, the way that they were constructed, especially with JJ Redick out there spacing and you couldn't double off of the wing like that, it elevated everybody else because they had CP. But those two bigs, the 4 and the 5, elevated CP's game. Because now how you gonna stop him? As soon as he come off of that pick and roll with either one of them, he can throw a lot to the other person. He has the floater game. He got the mid-range game. He got the pocket pass game. What are you gonna do? The options are plentiful. With David West, your options, you don't have as many options off of the pick and roll. It's not the same amount of options.
Let me ask you this question then. Based off what you're saying, moving like in the league now or like where we're going to in basketball, what position is more important, at least to solidify talent at? Is it the small forward or is it the point?
It depends on how your team is built. Like you can't – it's not a one-size-fits-all. It depends on who you draft, where you draft. Like if I'm looking at like the Atlanta Hawks, right? For me, and they've already drafted at that position, right? They got their point guard, and they already had a big in John Collins. And John Collins, I think, you know, if he played the whole season, he'd be on my top 5 power forward list. You know what I'm saying? Because you're talking about a guy that's almost 2010, looking at a max contract, and has elevated his range to three-point range pretty consistently now, right? So because you already had that, now you got your point guard. Who? What's the next area that we need to address? It's small forward. They drafted DeAndre Hunter. They drafted Cam Reddish, and Kevin Huerter can play a little bit of small forward based off of his size. So now the Hawks feel like a complete team. Obviously, they got to learn and gain experience and become veterans because they're still a very young team, but they've pretty much covered the entire gambit. When you look at the Dallas Mavericks, right, with Luka and KP, now they just need a guy at that 3-4 position that can compete against the elite PGs of the world, with the Kawhis, with the LeBrons. They don't have a guy like that yet. So it just depends, right? Like, or sometimes you may draft a guy like that and not have anything else. So it just depends on the roster. Like, it's not a one size fits all. It just depends on where you are in the construction of that roster. Like, if you look at the Celtics are good at that mid-size guy from 6'7" to 6'10". Those boys are loaded, and they got a point guard, and they got scrappy guys. Guess what? They don't have a dominant big.
Do they need a dominant big?
You don't need one. But if you're solid everywhere else, you need a big that can compete on the level of the elites. They don't have to be elite themselves. Like Steven Adams is not an elite offensive guy, right? But he can compete against all of the elite bigs in the league. And I'm not saying go get Steven Adams. I'm just saying they need a Steven Adams type player to solidify what they already have.
Because to me, the reason why I asked that is because, like, if you look at what we just talked about with the Celtics, they drafted Jaylen Brown, they drafted Jason Tatum. They didn't take any point guards or none of that because at the time they traded for Kyrie, of course. But even then, the kind of guards they did draft was like, what, Marcus Smart, Avery Bradley, like a defensive scrappy guy. Like, to me, they've always emphasized on small forwards. You can go back to their history with Larry Bird, Paul Pierce. You know what I'm saying? Like, they've always emphasized on that position.
But what was the reason? Who used to play in the East?
LeBron James.
So you had to compete against LeBron at a high level, even if the draft picks didn't pan out to be a superstar, even an all-star level guy. Hey, bro, you 6'9" with a 7-foot wingspan. Go out here and guard this guy. Even if you ain't shutting them down, make it way harder for him.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, the top 3 players in the league right now are at one position, and that's small forward.
I got you.
So, and to me, that dictates the whole league. Like, everybody wants something like that. That's why the Atlanta Hawks went to go get a Hunter and Cam Reddish type player.
I agree. But again, it's at that point it's filling out your roster because Cam Reddish and DeAndre Hunter are not your best players. Your 2 best players are a small and a big. So how do you complement your 2 best players? Is by reinforcing your weakest area. And even though, let's say if DeAndre Hunter and Cam Reddish do not pan out to be all-star, superstar type level guys, hey, that's cool. Go guard this guy. Go make this guy's job as hard as possible. That's the reason why you go draft them, because you're already solid at small and big.
I mean, I hear what you're saying. I just think that if we had, you believe in John Collins and you damn sure believe in Trae Young, to me, at that point, that should be enough to at least get you to the playoffs. But it hasn't.
Well, they're stupid young.
I mean, look at Memphis. Memphis is young too, in a harder conference, and they were an AC at least.
100%, and they were more healthy than the Hawks were all year. And also, like John Collins being the second best player, missed the first like 20 to 30 games. Like did you know the Hawks?
That had nothing to do with health, though. That was his mistake.
We understand all that, but he wasn't available, right? And without John Collins, they were the worst rebounding team in the NBA. Unless you are the best three-point shooting team in the NBA, you can't overcome that type of rebounding deficit. You're going to be one of the worst teams. If you cannot rebound and finish a defensive possession, you are going to be one of the worst teams, and you ain't competing for nothing.
All right. I'll let you have that one.
I'm just saying, look, if you look at the Miami Heat, right, and their entire run, they were one of the worst rebounding teams in the NBA. But you know what they did well? Three-point shot. They were actually one of the better three-point shooting teams. Because it's all checks and balances. If you're not good here, you have to make it up somewhere else. And rebounding, to me, is a direct correlation to three-point shots. And the reason being is if you're not rebounding, it means that you're not having the same amount of possessions in a basketball game as the other team. And if the other team has more basketball possessions, how can you keep up the scoring pace? You have to get more points per your possession. So you have to be an excellent three-point shooting team to overcome that deficit. And if you can't, you're dead in the water.
Well, all right. Going off of that, I know B. I think you talked about this earlier before we never got a chance to get to it. NBA All-Decade Team from 2010 to 2019.
I touched on that. I don't remember us talking about that.
No, yeah, we talked about like trying to bring it up, but we didn't have time. But now we got time to discuss it. Did y'all? I can read down the list if y'all don't have it in front of y'all. But for the third team, they got and this is from 2010 to 2019. They got Kobe Bryant, Dwayne Wade, Paul George, LaMarcus Aldridge, and Giannis. For the second team, they got Chris Paul, Russell Westbrook, Anthony Davis, Blake Griffin, and Carmelo. And for the first team, they got LeBron James, KD, James Harden, Kawhi, and Curry. What do y'all feel about that, the first, second, and third team? Did they get it right, or this is all decades, so you got to take that whole decade into account?
Yeah. They got it right. They got it right. I don't have a problem with that list.
Yeah, because I'm trying to think what big fella they could have put in that first team. There's no big.
There's
really none.
That's crazy. Yo,
Not for the decade.
that's crazy how it's like not a 4 or 5 in that first team. Right? You said Steph Curry, LeBron, James Harden, Kawhi, and KD. Wow. Wow. Because I'm trying to think big fella I can put at the 4 or 5, but I mean,
who you taking out?
Nobody out on that list.
Yeah, right. That's what I'm looking like. Damn, like who?
Right.
I guess you
No,
can't.
they got it right.
You can't take it out, really. From 2010 to 2019, Nick.
Yeah.
Yeah. I guess that's. Yeah, I'm thinking like who can I take out to put in place? I'm like, well, for that decade, yeah, they.
Did Steph run that great that made him first team for the decade?
Say it again.
Did Steph Curry have a run that great for the whole decade to make him first team over Chris Paul?
I mean, think about what Steph did. Look what records he broke. He was a 2-time MVP, with one of them being the first time ever unanimous MVP, which that still boggles my mind. He had the most 3-points record, or hitting over 400 threes in the season. It's crazy.
He's already the playoff 3-point maker.
Yeah. Like once they started on a championship run, man. I mean, that was during his decade. So Steph was pulling up. The only stain on Steph was the fact that he didn't get a Finals MVP in none of them runs. But Steph was crazy. Steph was crazy, man. I feel you though, Nick, because as much as a huge CP3 fan I am,
but he ain't win. Steph won.
But Harden didn't win either, though.
But
that's
who was messing with Harden at the starting 2 position, though?
Yeah. But, man.
Harden dominated his position, too. So I think that's the biggest thing.
Yep.
Damn. Yeah, I can't really take nobody out of there. And Kawhi being pretty much one of the, if not the best wing defenders in the league that entire decade. And the way his game has progressed throughout that decade has been amazing, because Kawhi was just looked at as a defender, and that was it. Like, you didn't really look at Kawhi as an offensive assassin. These last 2 to 3 years of that 3 seasons of that decade, him working out with Kobe and other those guys, like Kawhi ended up having a damn offensive arsenal on top of that. His superb defense. So
exactly, yeah. Like his shot, even though it's a straight line shot, you can't stop it. It seems like it's automatic.
Yeah, I can't really. I mean, of course, me being old school basketball head, I look at like, damn, who can be the 4 and the 5? But I can't really take no one off that list on the first team and put a big guy, a power forward or a center on that first team, which it just goes to show you what we said earlier, how positionless basketball, how NBA's changed not to positionless basketball. You know what I'm saying? So, damn. Yeah, I can't really argue that. What was the third and the second team again?
The second team was Chris Paul, Westbrook, AD, Blake Griffin, and Carmelo.
Yeah, because Blake Griffin during the Lob City era was, I mean, besides him getting hurt in playoff run, Blake Griffin still put up numbers. He still put up great numbers, and he was still good. Yeah, CP3 and Westbrook at the backcourt, you can't argue that. You can't argue. And then you say who else? You said Blake and who else?
AD and Melo.
AD and Melo. Yeah, because I mean, you're thinking of New York Knicks Melo in the majority of this past decade. I mean, Melo still got it in. He just didn't win, but Melo was still that respected dude and still one of the league's best scorers in my opinion during his run.
I'm surprised AD was on the second team though for the decade.
Where you think he should?
I thought he'd be more the third team.
Who would you put in his place?
I would have put Giannis on the second team.
But
Giannis is just getting going because you got to think Giannis in this decade, his first 2 years he wasn't really like
his first 3, maybe 4 years he wasn't nothing.
Yeah, so
it's only the last 2-3 years where he's been dominant.
I would say the last 4 he's been like.
So since 2015 to 2019, you thought he was dominant?
Yeah.
I don't know. Let's look at his numbers.
Let me pull up his stats, but that's what
No, I don't remember Giannis really. I don't remember Giannis getting into his zone until that 3 to 5 year window. That's when he started getting into his zone. You looking it up, Nick?
Yeah, I'm looking it up.
All right, I'll stop.
So yeah, if we going by the last 4 seasons, that's including this one. So like 2016.
I'm not even including 2019, 2020. I'm 2018.
Okay, so
is the last year of that decade.
So 2015, 2016 season, he averaged about 17 points, a little over 7 rebounds, and how many assists? And about 4 assists. Then the 2016-2017 season, he averaged almost 23 points, almost 9 rebounds and 5 assists. Then 2017-2018 season, he averaged almost 27 points, 10 rebounds and almost 5 assists. Then the 2018-2019 season, he averaged over 27 points, almost 13 rebounds, and almost 6 assists. Like that's pretty dominant for a 4-year span.
But Nick, no. You're not gonna spin it now. You're not gonna spin it because I'm looking at these numbers too. The last 2 years have been dominant.
Right. Domination. Like domination, Giannis was the last.
Like you can't guard me.
Right.
Like the last 2 years were dominant. The year he averaged 26.9, that was like that was the jump year. Because the year previous to that, at 22.9, you're not dominant. That just means you're good enough to be considered an all-star. If you're low 20s, like to me, that barometer is like 25 points. Because there's always around 10 or less players that average 25 points a game. That means you're dominant. When you're below that, you're good, but you're not a dominant player yet.
I would say anything over 22 points. If you average 20 up, you're a dominant player.
You're an all-star.
Wait a minute. Are you serious, Nick?
You're not dominant. You're an all-star.
Because you average more than 20-some points, you consider dominant? What? You know how many players in the NBA would be considered dominant if you go by that standard?
Yeah.
Like, come on.
I'm talking about people, the players who are the most likely to play with the franchise average over 22 wins, right? At least anybody averaging less than that is not the face of a franchise. So to me, if you're the face of a franchise, you're the dominant player of that franchise.
No, I'm not getting it.
Because dominant player means dominant against your peers, not dominant on your team.
Right, exactly. Like what? Yeah, I don't get that argument right there. That one ain't flying right.
Yeah, when he averaged,
she's telling me 22.9, over 5 assists, over 8 rebounds a game, almost averaging 2 blocks.
That's
Like,
But that's just numbers though. That doesn't mean you're dominant. You can average that, and if you're watching the games and seeing how the person is playing, the numbers is only going to tell one story, one narrative. So that's not the full case.
Yes, it's a difference between decent numbers and dominant.
Right.
Like what Giannis did this year is dominant.
It's
and we did last was dominant, and the year before was dominant, right?
Hey man, your internet slow.
Year and the last 2 years.
Hey man, your internet slow, bro.
Say that again.
I was saying his what he did this year was dominant. The year before was dominant, and the year before that was dominant.
No, 26.9 and 10 rebounds. How many assists? 4.8 assists. To me, that put him on the brink of dominance.
The brink? Oh, come on.
That was the first year that was like, okay, you might understand it, like you might get it, and you know really what it was just a jump in his free throw attempts. So he averaged almost 2 more free throw attempts per game, jumping from that 22 to 26. So that was the difference in his game. He was almost there with rebounds, had less assists. That year he started averaging more. But that year in, what was it, 2018, 2019, that was Giannis's first year of dominance.
Ken, let me ask you this question. What we're arguing is that for the second, we're doing the all-decade team review as far as from 2010 to 2019. And the second team has Chris Paul, Russell Westbrook, Anthony Davis, Blake Griffin, and Carmelo Anthony. I suggested that I would have removed Anthony Davis, and I would, as far as from the second team, and I would have moved him to the third team, and I would have moved Giannis up to the second team.
But yeah, I would say that, yeah, basically what I was saying was that the last 2 years is when Giannis has arrived. The first couple of years, we saw him coming, and that's the difference. Now he is a force in the league. When you become an MVP and everybody's taking notice and you're leading your team to wins, and then you're almost on the way, when you're a championship contender, I would say that the last 2 years is when he became the Giannis that we know him to be now.
So like this decade to me can be Giannis' decade. Like
yes, absolutely. Absolutely.
The last, I wouldn't have put Giannis is not second team all NBA team of the decade 2010 through 2019. No.
I'll put it to you like this, Nick. Giannis is a shoe-in for first team all decade this next decade.
Yep.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Oh yeah, hands down.
Yeah, Anthony Davis, man, is I get on him a lot, but man, that dude, like. He was a force. It finally got to a point where we saw like some success in terms of the team. But man, he was doing it early, bro. Like the stuff he was doing, just it was unheard of. Like you were looking at, you were like, how are you doing all of this?
He came in the league
like
a
minute to get there.
He came in the league balling. He came in
the
league.
Man.
You already knew he belonged when he first came in the league.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Giannis had to work.
And I think what helped him was his rookie year. He was playing on that 2012 USA basketball team. Like that helped him. That helped him right there.
I just remember hating him because Charlotte drafted MKG that year.
They sure did. Michael Kidd-Gilchrist. Yep.
What in the world is this compared to that? That's like...
But I mean, wasn't he the number overall pick?
He was.
Yeah, I mean, you couldn't get mad at that. You had to
but,
get what you had to get.
Apparently, he was like they held him in like high regard. Like he was.
They did.
Yeah, you already know.
I remember they put Michael Gilchrist like he was supposed to be like that dude going into.
Oh, they sure did.
Hey, look, man, I was like, I don't know what they saw.
You can't when your shot got to transform.
Yeah.
To shoot, you can't be no top 5 player, bro. I don't give a damn what nobody say.
Period.
What year did he get drafted?
The same year Anthony Davis got drafted. They both went into the league the same year.
Was that 2012?
Yeah, I want to say 2012. Yeah.
Right after they won the championship.
Yep, right after they won the championship in Kentucky.
Because wasn't it him and Kyrie
in high school?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was talking about in those circles, man.
I'm looking at the that top 5 pick of that draft class with AD and MKG. AD went 1, MKG went 2, Bradley Beal went 3, Deion Waiters went 4, and Thomas Robinson. I don't know if y'all remember him.
I remember Thomas Robinson. Yeah.
From Kansas.
Yeah.
I feel he got railroaded though. I really feel he could have been successful in the league. He just didn't go to the right situation.
Hey Nick, give me the next 5.
Thomas Robinson.
The next 5 of that draft class, Dame Lillard was 6, Harrison Barnes was 7, Terrence Ross was 8, Andre Drummond was 9, and Austin Rivers was 10.
And Thomas Robinson went to the Knicks. Who did he go to? The Knicks or Portland?
Who? Which one?
Dame got Portland. I mean, Portland drafted Dame. So Thomas Robinson went where?
Kings.
Terrence Ross went to the Raptors. Harrison Barnes went to the Warriors, obviously. Andre Drummond went to the Pistons, and Austin Rivers went to the Hornets.
Thomas Robinson.
No, Thomas Robinson.
He went to the Kings.
Oh, I have to look at their roster.
Their roster was.
They didn't know what to do with him. He was like a tweener.
Yeah.
He was just a super athletic dude. He reminded me of.
You know what he needed, Nick?
A point guard.
He had Isaiah Thomas at the time, I think.
Isaiah Thomas is a scoring point guard. You know what I'm talking about. You need a point guard that's going, you know what I'm saying, serve it up.
He was a tweener, man. He really was a tweener. He like you said, Nick, he had an athletic game, but he really didn't have a go-to. He was a good ball player.
He reminded me of the dude that got drafted after Kyrie that year. I forgot his name. It was like Derek something.
Derek, is it Anderson? Derek Williams. He went to Minnesota.
Yeah. He reminded me just like him.
But look, this is my thing, right? Like when you look at dudes like Thomas Robinson, you know what I'm saying? 100% a tweener. But, and I'm not saying that this guy would have been no all-star or nothing like that. But when I look at him, you know who he reminds me of? Kenyon Martin. What was Kenyon Martin's go-to move? The Kenyon Martin coming out, he had the reason why Kenyon Martin was as successful as he was because of J. Kidd. There's no J. Kidd, there was no Kenyon Martin Rookie of the Year.
That's real.
And that's that on that.
Yeah, that Ross, they had Tariq Evans. They had, y'all remember Francisco Garcia?
Yeah. I remember Francisco. Yep.
They had him, IT3, Marcus Thornton, Jason Thompson, John Salmons, Patrick Patterson, Travis Outlaw, James Johnson, Cole Aldrich, Aaron Brooks, Tony Douglas. They had, of course, Cousins. And Chuck, I remember Chuck Hayes. He used to play for the Rockets.
Chuck Hayes stayed in the league for. Now that's who he should have patted himself after. Chuck Hayes was who he should have been like.
Undersized center that can get minutes. But when you read out that roster, Ken, almost all of the top players on that roster need the ball. They're not unselfish guys.
Yeah.
So I guess they wanted to get a power forward to go with Thomas Cousins, but
they didn't have the right point guard.
Yeah.
Tyreek Evans was supposed to probably be that. His downfall is insane.
He got hurt.
Here's the thing with that, right? If you look, all right, we got Tyreek Evans and we got DeMarcus Cousins. You know what we need? We need a tweener, one or two man that can play make, because we knew Tyreek Evans was going to get to the basket, right? He was a slight playmaker, but he was a slasher type. So you needed somebody else that was a shooter / playmaker to complement what Tyreek Evans did, and also to complement what Boogie Cousins brought to the table. And then if you wanted to draft a power forward the way that they did with Thomas Robinson, you definitely need a playmaker. There's nobody on that roster that's a playmaker like that. Who was going to get Thomas Robinson the ball?
Right.
Who was going to set him up? Nobody. And then you look at the subsequent trades of the rosters he went to, he was never in a position to truly maximize his own talent.
But looking at the rest of this list, though, I mean, they really, outside of Dame and maybe Harrison Barnes and, of course, Drummond, they're not going to pick Drummond because they had Cousins.
Exactly.
They really – I understand the move based on that roster. And looking at the rest of these players left based on what you just said, because they could have went with Harrison Barnes and played him at the 3. We know what Lillard is now, but they had IT3, so it seemed like they were committed there. So it did seem like they had many different directions to go.
But what did I just say? Didn't I just say that they needed a point or two man that was a combo guy that could shoot and play make?
Okay, so Dame, Harrison Barnes, Terrence Ross, Drummond, and Rivers.
But I'm saying that sounds like Dame.
I know it sounds like Dame.
We didn't know Dame wasn't Dame then, though. Dame wasn't Dame then, though.
No. We know that. But at the end of the day, we knew that Dame coming out of college was a shooter, right? We knew he was a playmaker because he's a pure point guard. All I'm saying is that if the Kings would have made that decision, Boogie might have still been with the Kings. I don't think Boogie would have got traded.
I don't know. Did we know that?
Well, I put it to you like this. I didn't know that. I didn't know about Dame coming out of Weber State, but I knew about Dame in that summer league. That first time I watched him in summer league, I was
that's after the draft, though. You see what I'm
saying?
I know
that's after the draft.
Right.
I never heard of Dame Lillard prior to the draft. You know what I'm saying? I saw the highlights and I'm like, I wasn't sure. But at the end of the day, this is the reason why scouts get paid 6 figures to go watch all these guys play, right? If you pay me 6 figures a year, you know what I'm saying? Ken, how much does Dead End Sports pay me? Because I don't know, and I be on point with a lot of my shit, and I got a whole bunch of other stuff to do. But if all I had to do was just watch basketball players and evaluate talent, move like progressing them and moving forward, bro, I would have told you about Dame Lillard, but I don't get paid that to do that. You know, the scouts should have known that the way that Sacramento Kings roster was constructed, they should have drafted a Dame, because now you would have had a dynamic backcourt with a dominant big man. At that point, you have a slasher plus a guy that shoots and playmakes and a big man that can do it all. Man, come on, man.
Yeah, and then I think after that they moved off of IT and a lot of those guys. Mm-hmm. So yeah.
That would have been interesting to see. It would have been interesting to see too if Dame would have been Dame in Sacramento with that coaching.
Yep.
So in saying that, I'm saying that he would have been good no matter what. But Dame would he have been that with that coaching staff?
And you know, there's something that Steve Kerr said when he was a GM that has always stuck with me whenever I think about trades and just the management of NBA rosters. He says that like 80% of players are either successful or not successful based off who they're drafted to and what their number one, what the expectation is of that player, and then can that organization elevate? Because to me, it wasn't it wasn't a question of coaching with Sacramento. It was that front office. Because who did they have at that time? Because I know the last 2 coaches I liked before, and they only lasted like a season or 2, and then they got.
And wasn't Kerr with Phoenix then?
That drafted who?
I don't know, but I thought he was part of that Phoenix organization.
Yeah, he was the GM, right?
Yeah, he was.
Yeah, I don't know if it was around that time. I can't remember.
He was the GM during the D'Antoni years. So I want to say he was the one that drafted Shawn Marion.
Okay. Yeah, I'm trying to find the answer to your question.
What year was that?
2012.
Paul Westphal. Keith Smart was the coach that year. Mike Malone was. Keith Smart was the 2012, 2013.
Who was that?
Mike Malone was after that.
Mike Malone's the guy. I don't know why they got rid of him.
Everybody was there 1 year.
He was, man. He was. And I think they fired him after I may be getting I'm thinking but it was like DeMarcus Cousins got hurt and they started losing all kind of games.
Mm-hmm.
I'm thinking that's the same coach.
All these guys were 1 year too, because you got Keith Smart, Mike Malone, Tyrone Corbin, and George Karl, all 1 year coaches.
So like you can't have a successful organization and the head man only gets 1 year. Like what? Like you're not gonna have no type of sustainable success.
Right.
And then I don't really believe in Vlade like that either as the GM.
I don't either.
Because this year they should have taken a step, and I feel like they're just floundering. And then when you look at who's the lefty that they drafted a year ago, Michael, what's his name? The lefty started
what position?
Power forward for the Kings. What's his name? I want to say.
The lefty to play power forward for the Kings?
Yeah.
From Duke?
Yeah, play that dude. Marvin Bagley.
Oh, Marvin Bagley was left-handed? Why? I thought
he's not left-handed, is he?
Yeah,
he was right-handed.
No, Marvin Bagley's lefty.
Okay.
I feel like what's up with the progression of Marvin Bagley? Like, he came in, just skillful, but he's still at the same level he's at. So to me, there's just something wrong with that Kings organization overall. And until whatever the owner is, I can't say his name, I can't think of it right now, until he starts to control his urges, right? Like he's very sporadic. He's very like, oh, let's go do. Nah, bruh. Like just calm down. Just calm down. You know what I'm saying? Until they get some type of stability there, man, they're not gonna make no waves. And the crazy part is they got talent.
Yeah, they do. Because I like Buddy.
Yep, I like Buddy. But look, but then you go get Luke Walton as your head coach. That's not the right guy, man.
Right.
No.
I don't know how Luke Walton got that job either, especially after those charges.
You know how.
But even those charges, like in the same state.
What you think? You can't the Laker connection?
Part of it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's all I got for the list. I just want to have that conversation about the all decades list because I thought that was interesting. But I think we may need to. Ken, I think you brought this up as far as redrafting some teams or just some years. Looking at all these, at least this past decade, like the draft order and stuff. Like, man, going to FIFO's point, if Dame Lillard went to Sacramento Kings during that time and era, man,
and I think that'll be fun to do. I'll throw it in the chat. What year do you guys want us to redraft? They also want us to talk. We still need to talk about the Jimmy Butler interview. They want us to talk about that. So
yeah,
I'm down to come do another show later this week to talk about that interview and do the redraft if y'all are.
Yeah.
So what were we redrafting again? We redrafting this past the NBA draft?
We're gonna pick a year.
Oh, okay.
But we gotta set some rules. So are we gonna go do how many of us? It's 5 of us. So we just randomly select the order. So let's just say the way I see it on my screen, I have first pick, Nick has second, B has third, Ken has fourth, Shelton has fifth, and then we just drafting that. So I get 1 and 11. You know what I'm saying? Y'all get 1 or 1 and 6.
Your screen is wrong, FIFO.
Huh?
I said your screen is wrong.
I'm just saying that's just the way it comes up on mine. I'm just saying. But drafting it like that, or are we all going through and saying, okay, well, the first pick, if I had it, or this team, this is who they should have drafted, and go one by one in that way?
I was thinking who they probably should have drafted.
Okay.
I thought that would be fun though. How FIFO said it though. Us picking like we.
I didn't think about it that way. About like
if we're the organization at that pick,
that would be fun.
Yeah, but I don't think we need to go through the whole. Just
we just do the lottery.
The lottery.
Let's just do the lottery. Yeah.
Because the lottery is 14, so technically, like we could all get 3 picks. We'll just do 15.
Exactly. Yeah. I'm down with that.
We can try it that way. I'm down. So we got 3 years. We got 2011, 2012, and 13. All were nominated.
Okay. We'll figure it out.
Okay.
I'm with it. But look, man, y'all got to put on y'all GM hat now. Y'all got to know what the roster look like.
People talking shit already, boy. Like he already know he gonna get the shit. Nah, we gonna have them vote on who got the best redraft too.
Yeah, and let's do you with no point guard, so FIFO don't know nothing.
Now that I really think about it, that actually might be fun because if somebody's off the board, then you as the GM got to adjust. Oh man, yeah, I think I might like this.
Yeah,
I don't think about it. I might like this.
You try to put it in the hat though and shake it up and see draft order.
Yep. We'll do it live. We'll do a live lottery in front of everybody. So can't nobody, you know what I'm saying?
Okay, cool.
What day were y'all trying to do this? Like a Friday or Saturday?
We can do it Friday. Oh, wait, hold on. Shelton, what time Friday would you be available?
I'm free Friday, afternoon, evening.
So you can do it like, let's say like at 3:00?
Yeah, I'll make it work.
Okay.
3:30.
3:30?
To be safe.
Okay. Yeah, I'll just probably be at B's house because we got another battle on Friday.
Oh, watch them be making trades and all kind of stuff.
I was about to say, y'all gonna make these.
No trades.
Polluted already.
no, ain't no trades.
You see that
no trades.
right there?
Wherever. So again, let's say we put it.
I'm coming to your house.
You put everything in the hat, and let's say Nick, you're picking first, so that means you got first and sixth. If I got the second pick, it means I got second and seventh. You know what I'm saying? We'll just keep it like that. We'll just keep it and move it and just progress it. But no trades. You got to draft in your spot and take into account what that roster looked like at the time.
I'm with it.
Yep, me too. And Jimmy Butler. We'll do Jimmy Butler. We'll talk about that. So listen to that interview.
Cool.
Yeah. Interview. So, all right, y'all. Well, appreciate you guys hanging out with us. And I know you guys are asked about some draft talk. There's plenty of time for that. I know it's in 2 weeks, so we'll ramp that up when it gets closer. Right now, it's just, we're just going to have a little fun. And then when that becomes relevant, more relevant, we'll talk about it then. But, yeah, that's going to do it for us, man. We'll catch you guys next time. We out. Peace.
Peace.